I'm above the earth and I'm looking down.
Mhm.
I'm looking down on a stone circle that's
Mhm.
shaped, shaped like a Celtic cross. I believe it's the one in Scotland, the Calanais stone. There's an avenue of stones on the north. And that's the entrance. So I'm just looking down on the shape of it, seeing how it was built this way to be like a cross, Celtic cross shape,
Mhm.
but it's older than the Celt. I don't really feel like I've got a body right now. I just seem to be part of the air, the atmosphere. I just don't seem to have a form. I just don't have any real sense of boundaries. But I'm going down now. I'm going down towards the ground. And now I feel I am in a body now. I'm I'm a female and I'm probably not very old, but I'm dressed in very simple clothes. I have dark curly hair. When I look around, I recognize this place, but it's different from how it is now.
Mhm.
The human houses that are in that area are not there, and it's much more open and empty. And the roads are not there, and the telegraph poles are not there. But I hear the sound of the wind. It's the
Mhm.
same. And the stones are a little bit different. They are less weathered. I'm looking up now towards the circle. I'm looking up there. Sometimes we see the shining ones there.
What are the signing ones?
They are people who are not from here. We don't really see faces, just, well, kind of, but mostly they are so bright
Mhm.
that it's hard to see the details of them, but
Mhm.
they are beings who've come to help us because before they came, we were following these other beings who were clever and showed us things, but those beings required sacrifice. And so we had to kill animals for them. But we thought because they were cleverer beings, they knew things, we thought it was right to follow them. But then the shining ones came, and then we knew that the ones that we'd followed before were the dark ones.
Mhm.
And so we stopped. And then we started to follow the shining ones,
Mhm.
and it feels better. And I feel that I did not like to kill things
Mhm.
just for a sacrifice. And now
Mhm.
I knew that that was wrong. And now, yes, I feel better in myself than what I'm doing now. Because I am trying to do the best for my people,
Mhm.
serve them and help them. As we are the healers and the priests of our people, and the priestess who does the ceremonies. And so the shining ones show us better ways. And also we can go out of our bodies. Now with them, we can go to their world. Sometimes we get to see what it's like in the stars. And so our magic seems stronger and better now. And we understand more. We understand that we are connected with everything in the earth. With the dark ones, they didn't show us that. Shining ones show us our connection to the earth and everything and all that is, and how we must respect it and love it. We love to sing. They have taught us some songs. They teach us these long tones. It's very like you have to hold your breath in order to sing these songs. The notes are very long, so it sounds
Mhm.
like a humming. It's a little bit like the wind that hums over the bay. So we are making the sounds like nature, these big sounds. And when we do it all together, all of us together are making these sounds, it becomes very powerful. And we can do things, we can make things move. This kind of sound that the Shining Ones showed us. You can make things lift up, and you can use it to do different kinds of work. It's still quite a lot of effort because we need a lot of people and they need to know how to do the sound. So we have to teach them and you have to coordinate and get everyone together.
So everybody can do magic with this singing?
When we are together and we are in a community, we are more like one, not the individual, but everybody together. Then yes, we join, we become like one consciousness, and we do not feel like our normal selves. We're lifted higher, like the shining ones, maybe not as high as them. Sometimes when we sing like this, if we do it for a while, then we start to lift out of our spirit, or our spirits expand and
Mm.
feel. We have a sense of being all one, but then more than just joined with our brothers and sisters, but also joined with everything. It takes some time to learn to do this because it hurts the throat. The throat has to change over time to accommodate these these notes that we don't normally, as humans, it's not human sounds. So in the beginning it hurts, so we have to train. Over time we get better. It the sound is very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
We knew this before when we heard the sound of the wind.
Mm.
When the wind catches something, the way it goes through the stones, the way it goes across the bay, there is a powerful note in it that it can play. And so we also learned from nature, power of sound.
So you build things with the singing, or what kind of things you do exactly with the song? What kind of things you move around with it?
It can help with building. It can help with shaping things. As we learned through the sound that there is a way, a sound for each thing,
Mm.
a sound which can change it, mold it. But we don't know the sounds. The shining ones have to show us. But the different sounds have powers to break or to make something malleable.
Mm.
But we usually don't want to break things. Everything has different sounds that can change it. Very powerful. We use it sometimes to build the sacred places, but this is not the only way. There is other ways to do this. Sometimes the bigger people, giants have helped sometimes, some peoples to build these circles.
So they are your friends or allies, the giants?
They can be, but we have to treat them well. But it is really the shining beings who show us the patterns. They make patterns on the ground. They move the plants and make shapes in the plant. So we can see the shape
Mm.
and the design. They do it in the things we grow sometimes. They do it from the sky and they make these shapes come. And so we look at the shapes because we know that they are special. And when we go to those places, we feel and see swirling energy. So then we create our own versions with their help,
Mm.
more permanent versions because the plants grow and change. So those circles from the sky don't stay. So the circles are our way of making it permanent. And they also have the energy, the electrical power. And so these places of power, then we go there because we want to experience being more than this body. We know when we do the singing, we feel it in the singing, the spirit grows. And we go to these circles and the spirit grows there too. And so we feel we are bigger. And then because the shining ones use these circles as a portal or a place to come down and visit. So they created a bridge,
Mhm.
a bridge to their world.
So the stone circles are a bridge to their world.
Yes, different places, but this one is a bridge to Syria.
So you can go to their world and they can come to the physical world.
Yeah, they have to help us to go to their world. We can only really go in spirit because our bodies would not have be able to survive there. Different from our world. You see, they have crystals there, big crystals.
And in this moment, you are standing in the circle, meeting with the light beings.
Yeah, I'm in meditation in the circle and I'm linking to their world. So I'm seeing their world, but like looking through a window.
Mm-hmm.
Not completely there, but I'm looking
Mm-hmm.
through the window and I see a place with many buildings, many structures, very different from our world. Much taller things than we build. There's pyramids and tall buildings and huge shining things they say are their crystal powers, give them power. Very interesting materials. I don't know what they are using to build with, but pale, glittery, like stone, like our stone, but much lighter and glittery. I guess easier to work with. But everything is very nicely shaped, lots of rounded shapes
Mm.
and wavy shapes, shapes that are good for energy flow. Not a lot of hard, straight shapes. You see the energies very strong here. A lot of colors and light, with different energy things happening. And they seem much more advanced than we are. But they are trying to help us through this link. They wanted us to get better, to grow, and to stop doing the sacrifice.
And what happened to the dark beings?
They are still there. They they are still on Earth, but they are not here. They are not in our place anymore. They are not completely all gone. The light shining ones don't cause harm to anyone. They sent them away, but they cannot interfere. But I have learned from the shining ones that I can help if any of my people are still working with dark ones. I can see it and I can try to help them. And when I speak to the dark ones, I try to get them to see their light. They don't want to see it. But sometimes, if you keep talking to them, they will see it, a spark in the core of them. And they will remember that they also came and saw that they forgot over a long time, they forgot that they also were part of the original light and dark that works together. I am able now, thanks to the help of the Shining Ones, I am able to help people who are having problems with these entities. So I try now not to see too much good and bad, but to understand that it's all spirit, all one spirit, different viewpoints, like the faces of a jewel, different perspectives, but all one. So this link with these people has really changed our society now. We have learned things like how to grow plants so that we can have more food. Before this, we sometimes would starve, some of us. The older people would have to, sometimes we would have to sacrifice as part of our society. Older people would agree to sacrifice themselves so there would be less people to feed. They would simply leave. They would leave the community and they would go on a pilgrimage, but they would usually not come back. So that would be their way of leaving so that we can survive. Also, because we didn't really see death, we didn't really see death as an end. We simply see it as changing. Spirit is more important. Spirit moves on. It did not seem so bad. But now that we are growing plants and we are able to keep animals, so we are not hunting and gathering, it is easier. So we have also lost something because when you're not hunting and gathering, you stay in one place. So we no longer have a nomadic existence. And there is a sense of loss because now we are tied down. So agriculture brings us more security, but it also traps us. And now, so this is part of why we need these spirit sites to help us connect with our spirit, our temples, I guess you would call them. And we can still travel then, travel in spirit.
So, as you are sitting there in meditation, what else is happening? Are you talking or connecting with the light beings?
Yeah, I think I can talk to one who is showing me these sights of their world. They do not really talk with their mouths, they talk in our mind. So it takes some time before we could learn to speak with them. When we first saw them, we were just frightened. But over time, we got used to the lights. They make these lights that are very pleasant in the dark and full of wonder. And slowly we got to hear their voices speaking to us. And so they have become like our gods. We see them as being there to help us. We look up to them. And that is why this circle is up on a hill, high up, as high as possible, because we feel that is the right place, the best spot, closer to the sky. And they communicate to us also through emotion and feeling. So sometimes it's just when they are near, we just feel different. We feel lighter and we feel an expanding feeling, love and kindness. And we're inspired, we're excited, and we feel like we love everything. Even though our life is tough here, we have learnt to look up from the ground into the stars with wonder. And really, even if the weather and the cold and the lack of much growth in our plants is hard, we do feel differently now because we don't struggle so much. We realize that the struggling energy was only making things harder. And when we feel the different energy from the shining one, things become easier. Things just work better. Our crops grow better. And our relationships with each other go better. So it has become very important to us to spend as much time as we can when we finish our work, to spend as much time as we can connecting to these beings and to the light that they bring.
So there is this one light being you are right now connecting with.
Yeah,
Is the being saying anything or showing anything?
the being says, you can have this. So when it is showing their world and the different way they live, but also saying we can have that if we want it. That they
That
can show us.
like how to make your world as beautiful and light?
Yes, and easier. And these crystal things, they said they would make more easier energy for us. So we are just overwhelmed because when we look at that, it is so different from us, how simple our lives are, how basic. We work with stone. They seem to work with so many things that we've never seen. They say, we do have these things. We can begin to work with them if we want. We hardly know where to begin. They've already shown us that the plants are growing. They have
Mhm.
shown us energy. The next step would be for them to show us things that we can get from the ground,
From under the ground,
under our feet.
like crystals and stuff.
Yeah, metal. Some of us are not sure. We're a bit afraid because this is so different. We like things as they are right now. We are slow. We move slowly.
Mm. So you are not ready for these big changes and for that much light.
We are a little afraid because it's so different. And the Shining One says, it's coming anyway. People are coming. Different people are coming. Humans that aren't like us are coming. I feel afraid now because I think there's something about this message that's making me feel cold all over. That these people that are coming are going to take our land and that our life is going to end anyway. This way of living is going to end. But I don't know what we're supposed to do. I asked them if they can stop the people. No, they cannot stop them. They're not supposed to interfere like that. We must live with what is coming and find a way. We, we must deal with the change. And now, all the time now after this, they will feel this energy that something is coming. They say not to worry. That it's not so easy for us, as we have always just been us, these people, but we are in different tribes, but all quite similar. People are coming from a land across the sea, and they will bring different ways. They will bring sickness that we have never known. The Shining One says, some of us, he knows all of us won't want to. Some of us may go if we wish. We can leave. We don't have to stay. But for now, it is just as normal. We are only waiting for this to happen. But now I see it. It's like my sight has expanded and I see them See them coming. They are whiter than we are. They have white faces and they look like they're ill. But the shining one just says it's a different skin color, not as dark as we are.
So they're coming in boats.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they are. The many are coming. There's a lot. They're looking for a new land.
Are they Vikings?
Beaker. They're Beaker. What is called Beaker people. They are from the Netherlands. What is now the Netherlands. They will bring a new age, this land. They will bring the age of taking things from the earth, the metals. They will bring the very, very beginning of the metals. They will bring new things out of the earth. And they don't really care so much about the energy of the earth, although they will learn a little from us because of what we learned from the Shining One. But our time is over here.
Mm-hmm.
It will be over here when they come. Not immediately, but most of us will be gone.
Where do you go?
Our line will end. Some of us will go with the Shining One. We will leave.
So
Some of
you
us,
leave your physical bodies, you die.
we can, or we can, they can take some of us if we want in our physical bodies, if we want to. But they will have to change our bodies so we can survive. We may have to wear special clothes, or we can leave our body if we want to go. So,
Mm-hmm.
but not all of us will go. Some will survive, but
Yeah.
very, very few. They will become a very small part of the population. But those few that stay will mix with the new people. They will no longer be the same people. And many will die on the earth
Mm-hmm.
and leave
Mm-hmm.
that way. They will die from diseases that these
Mm-hmm.
people, and some of these people will persecute our people. So we have choices to make. But it will all happen over a time and not immediately.
And yourself, what are you going to do?
In this moment, I am not sure that I feel that I would leave. I will see first what it's like, but then I think maybe there is nothing left here because maybe I just want to follow them. I have a chance to follow them. Why would I stay here? I could go there and learn much more there. But I am afraid of the changes, I guess. Seems like a big change.
Do you feel like responsibility for your people because you are like the priestess?
Yes, I'm one of the priestess and priests,
Mm.
and they are not all agreeing. So
Mm-hmm.
some want to go, some want to go now, some want to wait,
Mm-hmm.
some want to stay because we should not leave the people.
Mm-hmm.
The people can be unruly and don't listen. And I have the feeling that when this all happens, that the people will just really not listen and it will be chaos. And so at some point we have our own path too, and we have to follow our path and not sacrifice in a way that's wasteful. But we cannot agree, so I know now already that we will not go together. Everyone has their own path, and we cannot be like we were when this happens. We will be scattered.
And what did it mean, the light being saying that your place could become like theirs, like full of light and beauty?
I think the way I see it is maybe we could have been stronger if we hadn't been
Mm.
so afraid.
Mm-hmm.
The fear that the dark ones gave us when we worked with them
Mm-hmm.
has not gone. I think we could have been a stronger people, and when these new
Mm-hmm.
came, we could have led them. I think it would have been difficult still, but we could have been leaders. But instead, we are panicked and fearful because the visions are that there are many coming, that this is a lot of people.
But you have the power of the song, like you can even lift stones and things. So you could have some power if you were united and yeah, not in fear.
If only
Mm.
perhaps on another dimension
Mm.
we were too afraid. But also these people, I guess they're not really bad. And they are bringing some advancements like being talk about. They are doing some of the things already. I think we learned about fear in that life, how fear can destroy things. Our fear of these people who were coming and the people's fear, the indigenous that were already there, suspicion. So although we try to be friends, we see in that we always keep this suspicion and difference and separateness. And they bring the sickness, and
Mm.
so many of my people will die. And that will make us more separate as we will try to keep away from it. And we try to keep separate from them. But some of us join with them and survive, become part of become one blood with them.
Mm-hmm. So those who stay, are they able to maintain connection to the light beings or maintain some of the traditions of singing?
They try to teach these people. These people will develop their own version. And some of
Mm-hmm.
these people will become in future druids. They connect in a different way. They are not, they sing. They sing songs like ours, but they don't do the vibration, sound, songs that
Mm.
move things to the same extent as a community.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them, a few of them will be powerful, but I think our way is changed.
Mm-hmm.
That is not a very bad thing. It is a different version, and in future things will change again as more new people arrive. These people will also be replaced. And so the cycle continues. I see, looking ahead, that it just keeps changing and going round and round and round. And it won't always be getting better, but it won't be either. It won't be 100% worse, but
Mm-hmm.
just always change, change, change. And we always need the help of the higher shining one.
So they will stay around.
The shining ones still connect to that site.
To the side, to the stones.
Yes, they are. They can connect from Sirius. If people go there and want to connect, this time of year is good for the gates are open with Sirius. If people want to connect, they can. Or just by looking at the Sirius star. People can look at the star and open their heart if they want to communicate.
So these light beings are from Sirius.
Yeah.
So the city and the buildings you were looking at, the light buildings, are in Sirius.
Yeah. It is a bright star.
So do you think there is something else for you to explore within this lifetime?
The way I left, I was at the stone and I put my hand on the stone and I said goodbye. And I left my body behind.
So your body stayed there in the stone circle?
I thought I died of disease. I was a little sick, but I maybe could have survived as I knew about medicines, but
Mm-hmm.
chose my time. I saw how it would be that we were being taken over and dominated by a new society that had already started to do the very things we had been slow about change, and they were already they'd already done it. They were already taking the things from the ground. I decided I wanted to leave. We all made our own choices. I saw that there was not much left for me to do, that
Mm-hmm.
the new people thought I was a bit crazy and I would just be a crazy person. So I left through the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
The Shining Ones showed us how we can open the top of our head and leave.
So you have to cut some kind of cord to the body because there's a bond between the physical body and the astral body.
Yeah, but you can eject your consciousness this way and there is no cord remaining with the body.
Okay, so you just leave.
Yeah, the body shrivels and I guess the cord is cut. I didn't see any cord, but they just showed me how to leave and I was only looking up. And so when I leave, I'm a part of everything. And I'll just be in spirit world for a
Mm.
while. At first I thought I would just go to them and Sirius, but I didn't go straight away. I stayed around in spirit
Mm.
and I tried to help some of my people, but there was not a lot I could do.
Mm.
Because time moves on, I realized it's a cycle. And I was clinging to the past. I just like things as they were, that
Mm.
things never stay. And so I think that was my main lesson from that life.
Mm.
It's always changing. And you cannot get too attached to anything.
So where are you going next?
I'm not sure. I just feel that I need some time in between lives. I'm just going to learn a bit more. I have no particular wish to return to Earth.
Mm-hmm.
I seem to be going through this process of healing
Mm-hmm.
and reviewing that life. It took me a while to leave the Earth because although I wanted to leave, perhaps I felt some guilt of
Mm.
leaving my people, and so I stayed in the spirit. But now, once I finally realize I need to move on and accept the change, then I go to the light and I'm properly able to learn and move on.
What is happening now?
So I'm in a kind of limbo and nothing much happens, and I have a feeling I'm slightly trapped by the way that I was. I'm trapped by my own consciousness in this limbo place because I was reluctant in some ways to leave. I was fearful of change and of going to Sirius, even though I was also fascinated. I was not wholehearted about going there, and
Mm-hmm.
I was not wholehearted about leaving.
Mm.
So I've ended up in between in a kind of, I think this is my choice, but
Mm.
I have to stay here now for a while, this limbo place. There's nothing really much here. It's a kind of place where you don't fully have a body, but you have some sense of self. It's a place where you are not, your mind is not very awake, sleeping place.
And do you think it happens for healing?
Yes, I think it can be healing. It can also be a waste of time. And time doesn't exist, so maybe not.
Mm.
There's a feeling of it not being anything very much here, much of anything, but it is a resting place. And so I think a soul can rest here. But I think with me, it's a little bit more than resting. It's a stuckness that I created.
Mm-hmm.
I created this stuckness for myself because I was not fully committed staying on Earth or to leaving Earth. And so I've created my own in between place, which shows me that I was not wise. This in between place is, well, I just don't know how to get out of it. So I just have to wait here. There's a dullness about it. It's not unpleasant, it's not pleasant, it's just completely neutral. There is no strong feeling, there is no real form, kind of grayish and misty.
So how do you get out of there?
Eventually, I get the feeling you drift towards light
Mm-hmm.
or you drift towards dark and you will go somewhere then, or you just stay in the grey. Eventually you leave. There's really no time here. So I don't really feel that I am having to wait 1,000 years or anything like that. I wouldn't know because there is no real sense of time
Mm-hmm.
passing. But there is a feeling of stuckness, but I think
Mm.
that is my conscious state and I could change it if I knew how, but it's quite dull here. My mind is foggy, just like the place I'm foggy. But eventually I will come out of it. And I feel I want to go towards the light higher and up because I remember the shining ones and I want to go towards that.
Mm-hmm.
I know that will be better. I already know it's not good to go towards the heavy darkness. But yeah, I'm just in the middle. I have a little chance to think. Not much. I think most of the time I'm asleep, but sometimes I wake and I can think for a short time about what lessons I learned and how I could have done things better.
Mm-hmm.
But then my mind goes back to sleep again. So that is it here. They just wake and sleep and think for a bit and move slowly, slowly towards the lighter, cloudy place and away from the darker, cloudy place. And I feel at some point, once I've got far enough and I've learned enough from my thinking, and I will leave here.
So let's go to the moment when you are leaving that place and making a choice about the direction you are going toward next.
So I feel I am now in the light. Actually, I like it here. This feels not like trapped anymore. This feels like expansion. It feels very big, very light, and without a body, but in a good way, and then expanded. I think it shows me that even in spirit, there are different levels of awakeness. In spirit, there are, yeah, layers. It's easy to be so dull-minded that you're not even conscious most of the time. But now I feel very much like in the light, the consciousness is brighter and there's a sense of being connected again.
Mm-hmm.
Much closer connection with soul.
So who are you?
We are her guides, her light team, her dragon.
Mm. Are you connected to the light beings from that lifetime we saw?
Yes, there is still a guide who's connected to her from that life. And the connection is opening again.
So when she was at the Calanais stones, she heard a voice saying Kalika or something similar. What does it mean?
Just the name of this person from the past life.
It was the name of the woman, the priestess.
Kalika came to her at the stone.
Oh.
So we told her to go there to meet herself,
Mm-hmm.
to regain memories from the last life, past
Mm-hmm.
life. And when she was there, she thought, well, nothing will happen because I
Mm-hmm.
can't, because there were people there. That she went again later in the night,
Mm-hmm.
early morning, and that was when she was able to connect. But it was very cold, and she was having trouble with getting into a good trance. But it doesn't matter because the intention is the most important.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was speaking intuitively and she didn't hear, but she recorded and it was on her recording. So, yes, this was just this past life energy reconnecting.
Mm-hmm.
And if she wishes, she can keep reconnecting with it to bring back memories that are helpful for the highest good.
How was clava cairns used by ancient people?
This is also a portal. It is connected to Orion's belt. There are three main cairns, like the pyramids of Giza, much smaller, of course, but
Mm-hmm.
what is left of these still holds a lot of energy and aligned like the pyramid in that line of three, like the Orion's belt. And this was used by the people in the same way as the stone, a place to connect with spirit. So these people were connecting to Orion. They were having help beings from Orion. And it was a place for rituals with fire. It was a place to travel to other dimensions. It was also used at different times by different kinds of people. Later people who came there used it for cremation and burial. It was a way of allowing the spirit to leave via the portal. So it was an important site for a long time. It is good that it has been preserved because people can visit there. And if they wish, they may feel the energy.
Mm-hmm.
And the trees there, although they came long after, the trees there make it a very pleasant sight. And the trees are an imitation of a druid grove, although this is not originally a druid site. But it is a good place. Although people must recognize that these places attract both light and dark energies as they have a powerful energy. And so it is good to approach there with a positive energy.
And how were the Calanais stones used by the ancient people?
These also a portal to Syria, used for speaking with the oracle. Many different uses. was mainly like a temple, an early temple.
Mm.
Very powerful energy, a vortex of energy that can transport one in spirit. So the middle stone is the mother stone, the monolith, and she is the one that brings down the energy from above. And the 13 stones that surround her, some of them look like humans. In a way, they have a certain consciousness. They create the dome, like a torus of energy. And the place has yes, it has a powerful energy. But to many, it just looks like some stones in the ground on a windy hill. So it takes some time and connection, some effort and some intention to really feel it. But yeah, if one spends some time there in meditation, it will start to feel that this place is very much alive.
And I think these stones were used in a TV series for time traveling. So is that possible through the stones?
It is possible to leave these stones in spirit, maybe not always advisable. Um, yes, if one wants to leave, it may be possible to leave and not come back.
But can your physical body travel to different time, like from modern time to ancient time?
It is possible, certainly, to still make use of a connection to Sirius there,
Mhm.
but it is not advisable to try and travel to other times.
Why it's not advisable?
Well, it is okay if one has a good reason and intention as such,
Mhm.
but if one is doing it for curiosity, it may not end well. If one needs information to help for the higher good, then that is
Mhm.
fine. But if it is for entertainment, which is maybe not advisable, but yes, it is surely a good thing if you wish to develop yourself, or if you wish to retrieve lost information
Mhm.
in past lives, that is good too. But these things always have their risks, so we have to make sure we are safe.
So Rachel was told that she has been on pilgrimage and visited many of these sites in ancient times. So can you tell more about that life or lives?
There was a life in a druid life. In the life we have just seen too, there was pilgrimage before the settling to agriculture.
Mhm.
So it is more than one life, an interest in becoming more than the body and growing the spirit. In those times where there were no organized religions, well, there were, but they were less organized and different from what we see now. People were just learning about what is beyond this planet, what is beyond the physical body. And
Mhm.
so these pilgrimages, they were a way of connecting to wonder.
Mm.
One, one stays in the same place, there is a tendency to stagnate. But by traveling, there is a continued sense of wonder. And so that is one of the reasons for pilgrimage. And the other reasons are to go to these sites and discover them, discover energy places. So they would use different methods to discover dowsing, just feeling, and just the sense that some places have even the most closed person can feel sometimes one place has a nicer energy than
Mm.
another. So they would discover the whole world like this. It was an adventure, as the land was not well known at that time. It was not mapped. It was a very different experience now to all the information you have now. It was full of mystery. And these were a way of connecting with spirit, these adventures, shall we call them, these pilgrimage, which is good. Also now in our lives here to take holidays for the same reason, to bring back the wonder and to discover your own spirit. Although it is also true that if one sits in one spot for the rest of one's life and meditate, they will have just as many adventures. So it is not necessary, but the pilgrimages were always a way to help a person connect to their spirit and to the Great Spirit.
Is there anything else important you would like to share now before we leave?
Your light is needed at this time. So we thank you for holding this space.
Thank you. This was amazing.
It's amazing for us to work with humans.